What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the characters on Home Sweet Home. Just my recommendations, my personal opinion of what I think you should use, depending on, of course, your playstyle and the character you choose. First up, we have Tim. Now, Tim is pretty good. I mean, he has a decent amount of stamina. His expertise is average, and his health is average. But the thing that sets Tim apart from all of the other survivors is that he has a throwing knife, which basically allows you to stun the killer from a long distance, and it's pretty good if your aim is decent. Now, personally, whenever I use Tim, I like to go for something like door slam or adrenaline, mainly because he already has a decent amount of stamina. But when you add adrenaline into the mix, it does help it up a little bit, especially in long chases or if you're being tunneled and stuff like that. Now with door slam, if you are really good at like looping and distracting the killer, this really does come in handy, especially with Tim, because you can be like looping a killer around the map and just using door slam to get in lockers, to get stuns. And if you are effective enough, you will get your knife back, and you can throw the knife back at the killer, and then you're just broken pretty much. Next up is Nipa. Nipa is pretty solid. I haven't honestly used her that much, but she basically can ping the killer's location like every 5 seconds, which is not too bad. It's really good if you're just kind of want to get objectives done and you're not really the type for confrontation, because I know a lot of people like to play like that. I know some people in my friend group that personally aren't that good at looping, which is fine, but it is what it is. But with her, what I recommended, I was just playing around with this, but what I would recommend, considering she doesn't really have much to go off of, since her health is like, I mean, you know, I would do superhero landing and adrenaline in case you do get a chase. These would help a lot because it would at least allow you to distract the killer somewhat, because I've noticed a lot of Nipa players get chased like and tunneled like the whole game, mainly because of, you know, the specters know that her health is so low, so she's an easy target. I personally don't use Sharp Eye, mainly because I don't think it's very effective. I'm sure it does help to some extent. I know somebody did a video on it, showing comparisons of Sharp Eye and perfect skill checks and etc. And honestly, it's not that great. I mean, her expertise is 3, so I mean, you probably will be getting perfect skill checks like back to back anyways. So I mean, the point of this perk with her will help, but it's not gonna be amazing, especially like I said, if you get tunneled by a specter who just wants to kill low health characters anyways. I think it's probably better off to go with superhero landing and adrenaline, mainly because since she has very little health, superhero landing will help when falling off high heights and you won't take any damage. And then on top of that, you have adrenaline, so you'll be moving 50%. You'll be moving faster if your health is less than 50%, which is pretty good. Next up, we have Jane. Now, Jane, similarly to Nipa, she has only really 1 health, but the great thing about her that a lot of people like to use her for is her second chance perk. Basically, if your team is just doing a poor job with their game, if you have a Jane on your team, you really don't have to worry. Or in general, if you're just doing solo queue or duo queue or whatever it is, if you have a Jane on your team, you kind of don't really need to worry about reviving her, mainly because it's like she already can self-revive, so there's not really any point in reviving her. Not saying you shouldn't, because maybe you might need them for the end game, right? And you're trying to kill the specter, and you don't want to wait out. You know, you don't have to wait for her to spawn in. You want to spawn her now so you can kill the specter. But I'm going on a tangent here. But honestly, I would just go with how I had it with Nipa as well. Just go with adrenaline and superhero landing. mainly because I don't think that you really will be getting any confrontation with her. This is kind of like one of those characters that you'd use, or survivors that you'd use, if you just want to get objectives pushed out the way and you want to have as very little confrontation as possible. However, she does have quite a lot of stamina, even much more stamina than Nipa, so you could technically use her to loop. In that case, I would use Adrenaline and Door Slam, perhaps, or even Sturdy, which I don't have. Sturdy basically, if you are one hit away from being killed and you haven't been killed yet, Sturdy will eat that hit and allow you to just not die from it. It's kind of like her second chance perk, except you wouldn't actually die. You would just be able to take the last. You basically get an extra hit, pretty much. Of course, we have Uncle Pae. Now, Uncle Pae, however the hell you say it, it's pretty good. Like, this guy has, you know, just as much HP as Tim. So if you are a Tim player, you probably know what your health boundaries are with Uncle Pae. However, the difference between Tim and Uncle Pae is Uncle Pae traded his expertise for more stamina, so he's just as fast as Jane. He's kind of a character survivor that you'd use for looping, using for endgame, and a lot of different things. And by endgame, I mean like killing the Spectre. No, I mean he's good at escaping too, because he has a lot of stamina, but that's besides the point. The only thing that I'd say that I'd have an issue with Uncle Pae is that his perk, like, it is good because it allows you to see like where all the survivors are, which, you know, can let you know, like, if you're doing objectives and stuff, and you see like a survivor running towards you and it looks kind of sus, you're just kind of like, oh dang, I should probably get off of this ritual because that means the Spectre's probably there. Yeah, he's alright for that, but the fact that that's his perk doesn't really gauge him with any other kind of benefit. So he's just kind of like, if he's in a chase, he's screwed pretty much. I mean, he has a lot of stamina and moderate health, but once he's out, he's out. And he's not even that good at skill check speeds. His expertise is 1. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not dumping on him because I actually use him time to time when I'm trying to get Spectre kills. But he's pretty decent. What I personally like to use with him is Superhero Landing and Door Slam, mainly because when I play as Uncle Pae, since he has so much stamina and a decent amount of health, I kind of don't really see a point in adding Adrenaline. You can if you'd like. It really depends on how good you are at looping, but Superhero Landing really comes in clutch, especially with his average health level. And then Door Slam too, of course, if you're in chases and stuff, because you gotta remember, Door Slam is pretty OP. I think it activates every 10 seconds, so that's actually really good. And then of course we got baby girl Yuri. Now Yuri is really OP, mainly because of the, you know, that thing, or her perk rather, flash shutter. It can only be activated every 25 seconds. It can be a little difficult to land shots. I know there's been times where I thought I landed a shot, but I didn't, and the Spectre wasn't blind, and it kind of pissed me off. But her perk is actually really good. If you are really efficient at using the flash shutter, sorry, I keep messing that up, then she is like the perfect character for you. Or if you're just good at aiming in this game at all, like with holy water or using Tim's throwing knife or whatever it is, she is perfect for you. I personally like to use with her is Door Slam and Take a Rest. It's been working out with me pretty good. It really depends on the kind of games I've been having. I kind of switch out Take a Rest with Superhero Landing sometimes, or perhaps Adrenaline. But she pretty much has a decent amount of health. She's kind of like Tim and Uncle Pae. She has a pretty moderate amount of health. Her expertise though is a tier 3, so that would mean that hitting skill checks, like perfect skill checks, is pretty easy. It's not that much of a challenge. I typically hit perfects like almost all the time with her. The only issue that I have with her is her stamina, because it's only 2. What I think for new players should do is do adrenaline, and I do take a rest with her, so you could just get your stamina up really fast. Say you go through like a wall and the killer or the specter has to break the wall, you could just squat, spend that extra time to get your stamina up, bait a hit, start running, and go to the next door to close, or tunnel to switch, or pot to go over and switch and transfer. And yeah. Alrighty guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. This is the first like video I've done that's like a guide or like anything like that for any game. So I hope it did pretty good. If you guys did enjoy, go on ahead and hit the like button. And if you're interested in watching me later down the road, go on ahead and subscribe. It's free, so you know, hey.
Night night, keep that pureo tight.